Welcome to the Call to Defend podcast, where Cain does know his Bible. I am a white Hebrew Israelite, also known as Caleb Elliott, and I am not sure if Josh will be hopping on later, but in the event that he does not, I will be alone tonight talking about the Black Hebrew Israelites. So, actually, I'll kind of wait for people to get in here. General Kenobi, you are a bold one. How you doing tonight, Chaos? I guess I don't actually need my headphones, huh? It's kind of nice. Okay. So, yep, I'm going to be talking about the very much growing cult. Good. Glad to hear that. The very much growing cult of the Black Hebrew Israelites. Going to be doing a not quite a full debunk because that takes a lot more time than I had to prepare. But just a quick little look at what they believe, understand why it's different, understand why it's heretical, look at a few passages, and call it a night. Because your boy has work early in the morning. So, just gonna wait a little bit longer, let some people get in here before we start doing things, start cooking, as the kids would say. Uh, um, I might not be able to stream on the 6th. Uh, Actually, probably would be good to. So I got my notes pulled up here. Um, Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping to see. All right. Let me give it till the 4-minute mark. So 20 seconds. Jug life. The milk made my camera go dark. That's funny. I almost forgot. Literally always right. Literally. Okay, so hit the 4-minute mark. Gonna talk about the BHI, the Brotherhood, if you will, um, of which I am not allowed to be a part because I have a significant lack of melanin in my skin. So I am not allowed to be a Black Hebrew Israelite. And in fact, they would refer to me either as Edomite or Cain, but we'll get into that a little bit later. For now, I want to kind of start this off by showing you exactly what kind of thing we're working with here. Right? So in Christianity, we welcome people to understand our beliefs, to come to an actual knowledge of what we believe, and to even have open criticism against us. And if they misrepresent our position, we correct that gracefully. At least we try to, and we ought to. But that is not the case for every group in the world. And if you are in an Islamic country and you attempt to speak your mind about good old Momo there, you can be killed for that. But given that we do not live in an Islamic country and that we live in a Christian country for the time being, and I do think that will continue, but there are concerning polls that are coming out. Uh, you are not allowed to kill people for disagreeing with your beliefs. Uh, so, instead, you have to do things like this. So, this is the Israel United to Christ main page. And here, I'll zoom in a little bit. And basically, this is a branch of the Black Hebrew Israelites uh, who issued this legal notice. This is the first thing that comes up when you go onto their website, which I did immediately start dying laughing that this is the thing they choose to put out there first and foremost. Like, hey, you know, I'll read it. So it's a legal notice from the IUIC. Demand for retraction and warning against defamation. To whom it may concern. This serves as a formal notice on behalf of Israel United in Christ, IUIC. It has come to our attention that certain individuals, influencers, and media outlets have published or disseminated statements concerning IUIC which are false, defamatory, and injurious to the organization's reputation. Please be advised that the publication or republication, of any such false or misleading statements regarding IUIC, its leadership, or its members constitutes defamation and exposes the responsible party or parties to substantial civil and, where applicable, criminal liability. IUIC will not hesitate to pursue all legal remedies available, including but not limited to claims for defamation, libel, and slander, as well as pursuit of injunctive relief and monetary damages. IUIC hereby demands the immediate retraction and cessation of any defamatory content pertaining to the organization. All parties are warned that any future publication or false or malicious statements will be prosecuted to the fullest extent permitted by law. This notice is not intended as a complete recitation of IUIC's rights and remedies, all of which are expressly reserved. IUIC Incorporated, Legal Department. So what does that mean? Well, it's interesting that they put it out because defamation is notoriously difficult to prove in court. You have to prove malicious intent or spreading knowingly false information, meaning that you knew what you were saying was a lie and yet you still said it. Notoriously difficult to prove in court because how do you prove somebody's intent without it being, like explicitly stated? Right? If I were to say, quote, and this is just an example, this is a hypothetical, I have to say that. If you were to say, quote, I want to undermine the Black Hebrew Israelite or IUIC faith, and I'm going to lie to do it. Right? Like that would for sure get you a defamation lawsuit, and you would probably win that lawsuit. But outside of like stated intent like that, it's really pretty difficult. Obviously, then if you were trying to, like, for example, dox the IUIC and get its members harmed or killed, then absolutely you could, or somebody would file a defamation lawsuit against you and they would probably win. But outside of that, this legal notice, to me, more seems like a, hey, don't make disparaging content, right? Don't make content that is like this live stream where you come and you attempt to debunk our faith and attack our religion. So I find that really intriguing that that's the first thing that pops up on a website, right? Like generally you could put it under one of the tabs. You could put it like, down at the bottom, just like a, hey, by the way, this is here, but nope, they go bam, front and center. This is the first thing we want you to see because we want you to be intimidated. We want you to be afraid. And that is in large part how BHI as a whole has spread. BHI is Black Hebrew Israelites. BHI is just a lot shorter to say. So it's kind of like intrinsic to their tactics to be aggressive and intimidating and to try and prevent you from thinking or arguing. Oftentimes you will see them in what are called camps, which is they will set up in like a street corner and start screaming at people. Literally, like that's how they evangelize in part. Is they just set themselves up on a street corner in a city and just yell at people. And they'll use swear words, they'll use insults, they will demean you in some way. They might, let's say you're walking down the street with your wife and children, they might go after them to try and provoke you. Their goal is to get you agitated and in already a defensive state. So that way they don't have to defend themselves. This is a very common tactic in BHI street apologetics. I've been in an online argument with a couple BHIs before, and because I don't have a life, and they were constantly just throwing out, "You're a fool. You're a fool. How can you be this stupid? How can you not know the Bible this well?" Right? The whole goal is just like demean him, get him to be second guessing. Now, when you've already said those things 6 inches from the mirror, nothing phases you. But of course, that wasn't the point, right? The point of those statements was not because they actually, I mean, they probably did think those things, but not because they really thought those things and they wanted to make sure that point got across to me that they really disagreed that strongly. That was not the point. The point was to get me to start thinking, am I being foolish here? Right? Do I really not know my Bible? Thankfully, the Lord strengthened me in those moments, and it was purely by His grace that I was able to fairly easily and swiftly debunk their arguments. But we will get to the debunking part later. First, why am I talking about the BHI? Right? So, BHI, and I'm sure my face just lit up because my goodness, Google Docs is bright. BHI had, now the numbers are a little iffy here. Some state that back in the 1980s they had 25,000, but they had really kind of like died off and weren't that popular right up until like the 2010s. Right, so in 2012, they were pulled at 5,000 members in America. This is primarily an American group. I should say that from the outset. This is primarily an American group. I know they have some presence in Britain, but it's not very large there. And they had 5,000 members in America in 2012. Now, in 2023, or by 2023, that number had quadrupled in Manhattan alone. Right, so that 5,000 number became 20,000 in just Manhattan, just, downtown New York City. Generally, the BHI stick to more urban environments because of their target audience. We'll get to that in a second. But still, like that's a pretty huge growth for just one city, right? To quadruple your members, to add 15,000 people just from one city. Yes, that's New York City, which is huge. But given that their target demographic makes up about 230,000 people, not now Windows security, thanks. Given that their target demographic makes up about 230,000 people, to gain 15,000 of those is pretty significant. It's difficult to get an exact number on the country due to the group's general secrecy and also their diversity in terms of, like, there's not like a convention head, right? So it's difficult to really kind of get any consensus number. But if we were to map the New York City demographics onto the rest of the country, all the rest of the urban environments, it would come out to roughly 4 million people, which would be just over 1% of the country's population. So it's a very rough estimate, and in no ways could be taken concretely, really. But if we were to say, all right, this percentage of their target demographic is Hebrew Israel, is BHI rather, then this percentage of the country, or this amount of people across the country, would be BHI. Right, assuming those rates hold. Now that's a big assumption. Again, I grant that, but let's say 4 million is the ceiling. Right, so we're ranging huge range here, anywhere from the 20,000 in Manhattan to the 4 million country wide floor ceiling. They're somewhere in between there. And they are rapidly growing, especially in the online sphere. BHI is very big online right now. You see, especially IUIC is really pushing. They are doing huge social media campaigns. God Logic has been doing a lot with this recently, and it's a subject that I had approached Josh about. I want to say in the spring was BHI. Well, it was generally cults, and BHI was one of the ones that I wanted to do first, just because I could kind of see the trend of where it was going. Right? And lo and behold, we have the trend arriving. Not That's not to pat myself on the back. That's just generally when you do a lot of apologetics, you can kind of see the direction in which apologetics is going to be heading, and which groups you're going to come into confrontation with. I have no doubt that people like Avery of God Logic and even Mike Jones or Eric Manning of Testify Apologetics, because he did a little bit of he had like I think one short on VHI, maybe two. Could kind of see this coming down the pipeline as well. So why is it a problem that they're growing? Well, actually, before I move on from there, I want to talk about how you can kind of always identify a BHI member. Firstly, if there are several people standing on a street corner screaming at you, dressed in camouflage, they are BHI. Or they're military and you should probably leave the area. But if they're not military, they're BHI and you should probably leave the area. No, I mean, you can engage them in conversation. I don't imagine it will be a fruitful conversation, but never know, never hurts. Um, but also, if you see a group of men wearing purple and gold robes, that's IUIC, which is again underneath the branch, or underneath like the head of BHI. So if you see these groups out on the street, again, just be aware of who you're dealing with, understand their beliefs and claims. So let's get into those. They would state that Orthodox Christianity, lowercase o, so not Eastern Orthodox, but Orthodox Christianity, lowercase o, is heretical and pagan. That's a word they toss around a lot, pagan. For example, a lot of them say, these holidays are pagan. All of these things are pagan. And we'll get into some of those a little later. But they also say that Trinitarianism, which obviously is hand in hand with Orthodox Christianity, you need to be a Trinitarian in order to be an Orthodox Christian. Again, lowercase o. They would say Trinitarianism is false, right? So they fully reject the Trinity. They fully deny many core tenets of the Christian faith. Not all, but many. They state that Jesus is not God, but is in fact a created being, and he is God's greatest creation, and he is the Messiah, and will return in judgment. So they get partly right, which many cults do. Get things like mostly right, but it's that you know little inconvenient truth of Jesus being the incarnate God that seems to trip up a lot of cults. The I should say the one and only incarnate God. So, talked a little bit about their target demographics. What are their target demographics? So, if you are not among the following three groups, various fates may await you. If you are black, Hispanic, or American Indian, you are the true Israelites. You can be saved concretely. You definitely can be saved. If you are not, here's where we get a few different interpretations. So you are what would be called the Edomites, which they don't promote that because it doesn't sound good, right? It's kind of sounds a little sketchy, right? To just toss out the uh, excuse me, the my brain just blanked so hard. All right, to toss out the term that just dismisses an entire group of people on nothing but their race. Right? They can recognize the climate around them and go, "Oh, that's not going to work here." Right? Like that could work in a place like South Africa, for example. That will not work in America, where it's much more merit based and less race based. And fortunately, I will say fortunately, they live in America where you can't just dismiss somebody in essence on the basis of their race, right? Because we have actual deductive reasoning and logic here. That sounded really unkind to a few countries, but I'm not going to change my statement. uh, Sorry. Anyways, so if you are an Edomite, right? So you are not black, you are not Hispanic, you are not Indian. You will then have one of two things. Either A, you cannot be saved. Right? So that I believe is an older BHI position. I don't know that any groups necessarily hold to it today. The official BHI website is a little iffy on it because, again, they don't actually want to put out what they really believe front and center because it would definitely turn people away because it's blatantly false and also like openly racist. Um, but then we also have the possibility that you can be saved, right? As an Edomite, you can be saved. However, your salvation is different from theirs. So their salvation is full, right? You have to be baptized. I should say that you have to be baptized to be saved. Once you are fully immersed, they are full immersion soteriological Baptists, lowercase b Baptists. So once you are fully immersed, raised back up, you are saved. I should say baptized, obviously, into the BHI cult. And I'm going to keep calling it that because that's what it is. It is a cult. You are saved. That's the case for blacks, Hispanics, Indians. See, BHI, right? So we're going to say BHI for that too. So if you are BHI, who is BHI, you are saved. If, however, you're an Edomite who affirms BHI theology, then you can be saved. However, you will be serving I'm going to call it actually IHB. We're going to flip the oh my goodness acronym around. That way it's a little less confusing. So Indians, Hispanics, Blacks, IHB. You will serve the IHB in the new creation. Now, that is obviously extraordinarily racist. uh, in either way, either you cannot be saved because God made you a certain way, and that way is no choice of your own and literally nothing you could do to change it, being obviously your skin color, or you are forced then through no fault of your own, purely because of your skin color, to be a servant in eternity. Right? You could be the most devout BHI imaginable. You could believe all the right stuff. You could be, a scholar of their beliefs, and you wouldn't be a prophet because you're not the right skin color, but you could be about as close as anybody could be to being a prophet as an Edomite, and it wouldn't matter. You'd still be a servant. Right? Like, you could be more devout than any other racially, how do I say this without being awful, racially superior, question mark, that didn't feel good to say. uh, this stream is still getting taken off of YouTube. uh, you could be more devout and more faithful than any of them, but it doesn't matter because you are white, Asian, Pacific Islander, Eskimo, whatever, right? Actually, I don't know where Eskimos fall. Are they technically American Indians? I have no idea. Anyways, it doesn't matter, right? As long as you are not those three groups, there is nothing that you can do to have equal status to them, right? So that's hence the term Black Hebrew Israelite. They believe that the blacks who were brought over from Africa on the slave ships to the North American and Southern, to the Americas, right? The North and South continents there. They believe that those were the true Israelites, right? Not the Jewish people talked about in the Bible. Right? They believe that Jew there is simply a term used for the Black Hebrew, or the Black Hebrews that came over, right? And that the Jews that we see today are not the same Jews as the one talked about in the Bible. They believe that those Jews in the Bible were black. They actually have like a lineage tree to try and prove this claim, but it's not publicly available. Like, I searched for it. You cannot find it. They've very much made sure of that you cannot find this tree anywhere. Excuse me. The reason for that being, they only want to show it to people who are IHB. Now, that obviously is a bit of a problem when we are looking at like actually proving these claims. And I believe that's by design, right? You're only going to show it to people who you think you can convert, and if you put that out there onto the online sphere, people might debunk it, right? People might go, hang on, that doesn't match up to history. Oh, that's different. That's not right. That's not right. Hang on, what are you doing here? And so they will specifically hide that tree. He lives. You weren't even that late, honestly. Oh, crap, I don't have my headphones in. Hang
This
on.
stream.
Hang. Hold it.
This stream has gotten a whole lot worse with my presence now.
Amen.
This stream just got a whole lot gayer.
There you go. I fixed your name for you.
Full-fledged? Okay. I see how it is.
I mean, my brother in Christ, you are whiter than the driven snow.
Whoa, 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 whoa. The snow is a lot whiter than I am. This light does not help. I have a friend who is whiter than a saltine cracker. All right. So
Hey, the saltine crackers have a little bit of that, like a little bit of tan spots in them. So,
he is whiter than the moon.
anyway, so you have joined in. Let's see. We are talking currently about the racial hierarchy. Um,
Racism.
yes, yes, we are talking about the racism right now, and I was just talking about the tree. I don't know if you're familiar with the tree or not.
Considering I look frozen. Oh, I am not frozen. There's a lot of trees. There's a tree right outside my house. There's actually a few of them. One I'm pretty
True.
sure is gonna fall on my house
I'm
one day.
talking. I'm talking about the BHI tree, though.
Mmm. Yum.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. So
My brain's
they
fried. I just came from helping run a high school concert. Been around teens and brain rot for the past 2 hours.
uh, any hoozle. So the tree, to catch you up quickly, is this like, and it's a literal tree. I should say it's a picture of a literal tree
Mm-hmm.
where it's trying to show
Yeah.
like we as black people in America have stemmed from the
This
Old
tree.
Testament Jews. No, the Old Testament Jews are actually black people. Right?
Oh,
Case in
see, I
point.
thought you were gonna say they grew off the tree.
Oh, no. No. So where that originates is they say that the people who came out of the Exodus were Africans.
Of
Like
course, of course,
were
of
fully
course,
black Africans. Never mind the fact that if you've seen Egyptians, they don't exactly look that dark. Right?
of course.
They're not they're not quite, Nigerian, shall we say.
What are you
Um,
trying to say? That there's not enough. I'm not gonna say this. I'm gonna
do
stop. Nope.
it. I've already made a couple statements that I'm like reflecting on of like, I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, I had a roommate who I had a Native American roommate. I had a black friend. I had a Cuban friend, and they all made some really wild statements.
Well, the good news is all of them would qualify as Black Hebrew Israelites.
Sweet.
So
They're saved.
basically,
I'm screwed.
exactly. Yes, yeah. Well, we talked about that. You can still be saved. You'll just be a servant in the new creation.
Reverse
So,
early American history.
okay, so that's actually the exact point. That's actually the exact point. Is they perceive this racial injustice um, as the great sin that needs to be corrected, and so their theology then dictates that uh, it will be a reverse of the early American system, right? Where you have
So they're the opposite of the Mormons, and they're basically
yes,
critical race theorists.
yes, yes, actually, yeah. So the reason that they chose those three groups, they don't say this, but it's very obvious. The reason they chose those three groups is they feel as though those have been the three groups slighted by America the most. Um, which
Because
shout out
Christianity
to
is
the
all about
Japanese for
America.
the internment camps. Uh, that wasn't exactly a picnic, but they
What?
still.
You tell me they didn't pull out a blanket and a basket of food at those camps?
All right, now. No, we already talked about camps. We already talked about. Let's see. We talked about the tree. Yes, other vegetation, namely their diet. So, Black Hebrew Israelites strictly affirm an Edenic diet, meaning no meat, no dairy, no animal products, and then also nothing artificial. So, no artificial sweeteners, just purely natural. Like the crunchiest person you know has nothing on a Black Hebrew Israelite.
They never experienced the wonders of chocolate.
I mean, they would probably make it naturally question mark. But yeah, no,
No,
it
there's
wouldn't
some
it
kind of
would be
loophole. I'm gonna
nowhere
find
near
the
as good.
loophole where they can't have chocolate.
Yeah. Any hoozle. So yes, they you have to hold to the Edenic diet. Um, it is considered sinful to eat anything outside of the vegetarian, all natural. I don't quite know if it's full vegan because they might eat honey? Question mark. And
But
honey,
how do
fun
they
fact.
know
Honey,
that
fun fact,
Adam and
is
Eve
not
never
vegan.
tasted the wonders of milk?
Well, I mean, I would imagine, given how old most BHIs are and when it picks up, I would imagine that most of them have drank milk in their life.
Well, I mean, how do they know the in Eden they never taste the sweet wonders of
Oh yeah, I
milk?
have no idea. I have no idea. I
We don't
actually
know
have a
what animals were in
actually have
Eden.
a gallon of milk sitting right here.
There could have been cows, goats,
Could be. Don't know.
pigs, pig milk. Never tried that. I'm curious.
But
Is it pink?
no, I think I'm good on pig milk. But so why did we choose now to do BHI? Well, firstly because we
Schedule.
kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and finally I threw a temper tantrum and now we're here.
Well, no, it was really just like, hey, actually, no, I'm the one who said, hey, we should do this. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we should do that. And I was like, what if we
Yep.
did it here? And then we realized, we can't do it then. Can't do it then. Can't do it then. Can't. Hey, we can do it then.
Yep. So I'm gonna try and tie it all into this because of course Joshua, as you know, Christmas is pagan. Yep, that is a core BHI belief. So I am going to go back to the IUIC website. You missed the me reading a legal notice at the
I
beginning.
listened to it on my drive home in the terrifying snow.
Yeah, it's been hitting us hard here.
Yeah, man, they just want to give me an aneurysm all around. They want to make sure that I can't drink milk. Gotta make sure I'm not black. Gotta make sure
Where did that go? Come
a
back.
whole bunch of things.
Okay, there we go.
Ooh, what the heck is that on the right? That
That's a great
St. Patty?
question.
Is that the
I
Mad
think
Hatter
it's
from Alice in Wonderland?
that was my thought too. Was actually it was the Mad Hatter. Um, I'm
Poor Mad
not
Hattie.
really sure. I think it's supposed to be St. Patrick's Day, but I'm not totally
Right, because
sure.
St. Patrick definitely wore that get up.
Yes, of course. Um, but I
I
can't
guess it's
really
leprechaun.
tell, truthfully. I'm sorry.
I guess that's a leprechaun.
Yeah, I think I'm not really sure, but obviously we have Christmas in the center here, and then ye old
Is
Easter
Sunday
Bunny.
on that list?
Yes, sir.
What?
Oh, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
What?
Um. Anyway, so you get here false Christian holidays, birthdays. We're gonna look at Christmas because that's what season it is. So here we get this lovely portrait
That's a cool
of
picture, though. I
Santa.
will say
Huh?
it. While it's I mean it's good artwork.
Oh no, it's very high quality artwork. Yeah, no. But so Josh, do you want to read this for
Oh my!
Oh man. So yep, they use Jeremiah 10. Um so I forgot to say. So it's Cain, Edomite, and also they will call us, oh, where did it go? I'm blind. Heathen. We are heathens.
Please stop using Jeremiah 10. Anyone who's watching, it is the dumbest argument ever. Not the dumbest. Richard Carey has a
It's
few
up
of
there
those.
though.
It's up there. It's literally about making idols.
So fun fact also, New Year's Eve is also pagan. using Deuteronomy 16:1, observe the month of Abib and keep Passover until unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Now somehow, some way,
Bruh.
that is to say that New Year's Eve is pagan. How exactly? I'm not sure. They really kind of dropped the ball on that one.
You mean on all of it?
Wait for it. It'll kick in for you in a second.
No, I heard the joke. I just mean for all of it.
Okay. I was proud of that joke, Dak
I know
Nabbit.
you were. I just wanted to go further.
But anyways, yeah. So this is IUIC's entire page on Christmas. Um,
Bruh.
yes, sir. Yeah. So they do not consider. Here we can switch to the actual BHI websites. This is the official website of the Black Hebrew Israelites. This is an article that I just pulled up now. I say it's 7-minute read. We are not going to read the whole thing, but obviously they. I mean, you can go to these websites. Probably should have linked them down in the description below, Josh. If you'd like to do that, that'd be great.
You could
Um.
send them to me. I'll do that.
Oh yeah, that's probably helpful, isn't
Real quick, while Caleb's doing that, Jeremiah, please stop using it. It's a passage about carving idols. You taking down a tree and decorating it is
Oh,
not the
that didn't
same
actually send the
thing.
links. Cool.
Thank you.
Hang on. That didn't actually send the links.
Frick.
Nope, that's just sending the. Hang
Stop
on.
being a chicken nugget and become a dino nugget. Send the links.
I'm so confused by that sentence, but okay.
There is a difference between chicken and dino nuggets. One is
All right, well,
clearly better.
that's for IUIC,
Gotcha.
which is a branch of BHI.
Right.
Okay, so this is their justification for why Christmas be pagan. They state that the Eucharist, which is taken obviously at Christ's Mass, Christmas, is a pagan celebration and that it is merely symbolic. So they do not affirm real presence in the Eucharist, and they use that to justify not taking Christmas. They also,
Math ain't mathin'.
yeah, I know. Um, well, they also say that since Christ was not actually born on Christmas, like when we celebrate Christmas, therefore, it is a deceitful holiday. It is full of liars and should not be trusted. Yep. Lastly, they use a wonderful, wonderful argument here. I'll just let you read that.
Oh, I gotta zoom in my face. You may or whoops, my bad. You may or may not know, but the term Christmas has not been around that long, which in itself makes Christmas a relatively new celebration.
Oh man,
I need to find a bridge to jump off of.
calm down. So obviously, okay. So here you go. They link it to Yule.
Bruh.
Um, I should also mention they affirm the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is scripture to the BHI, particularly the books of
I mean,
Maccabees.
that's not uncommon within Christianity itself. So I'm not like
No, no,
as
no.
upset about that.
But I was using that as a segue, my friend. Um,
Uh,
so like they will in particular say Maccabees is extremely important to them because of the Maccabean revolt. At which point, let me just pull up the article because that's going to probably explain it better than my scattered brain is. Here we go. So, was the Maccabean revolt successful? When people hear the word Maccabees, it probably doesn't ring a bell. The Book of Maccabees has become a long forgotten work, even though it's pivotal in establishing the most dominant faith in the world, which is Catholicism. So then they just give you a little blurb there about what it is. Today you will find out who the Maccabees were and the most famous Maccabean revolt, which is popularly mentioned, and why it happened. All of this will give you a deeper understanding of the scriptures and how historic this event is fits into the Bible and our lives today. So, here we go. They state that the central figure, Judas Maccabees, in the priestly line, was a black man. They will continue to promulgate this as the central proponent of why, or like they will continue to promulgate this as like the central point of their claim regarding black people being descendant of Israelite. So you will see here they point out, um, like right here, Judas Maccabees was not a European man, which you will find if you search for pictures of Jewish Maccabees today. For instance, if you type Judas Maccabees into the Google search, you will find this. Now, they say, admittedly correctly, that he was not a European man. Okay, sure, but European man and black are not the only two options. There's that lovely swarthy middle ground that yours truly comes from, which is Middle Eastern, specifically
Fun
Asia
fact: when I
Minor.
initially searched for it, it gave me JFK.
What? Uh,
Google gave me JFK.
I would like to see this, please.
Hold on, I want to make sure I got the right word for word though. It was Judas.
Judas Maccabees.
Yeah, it might not give it to me again. Um, Maybe I misspelled Maccabees. Maybe that was why. Okay, so here is it normally, but before when I missed the C, and then when I wanted to change it to Maccabeus too, so I'll just pull up for Maccabeus because it was there.
I see.
Um, but before it was I misspelled Maccabees. I forgot a C, and it gave me the same thing as this. But it was
Yeah, I
wild. I
know. I
laughed really hard.
completely agree, Jay Spoken Words. This is
I wouldn't even waste time talking about these people. The bottom line is they are not Israel. The
true.
only reason we are though is because they are a cult that has been growing in the digital world a little bit, and therefore some people are just not as aware of these things.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
moi.
I if you're just joining now, I kind of went over at the beginning, um all of these or like their increasing population and how at the beginning of the 2010s they had like 5,000 people countrywide. But yes, true. Yeah. No, we mentioned briefly how it's kind of like, if you've ever been an oppressed group in America, unless you were Asian, um, or Irish or Italian, basically
They
if you
didn't like those
were,
test scores that they were
yeah,
getting.
exactly. Basically, if you were Black, Hispanic, or Indian, um, then you are a chosen group. You are a select group, which is like that's a pretty specific group of people. What
Yeah,
three people in American history have been mistreated significantly? Oh, Black, Hispanic, and Indian. What do you know? So,
is the return of slavery. They live,
yes.
breathe, and preach by the spirit of revenge.
Yup. Yep. But anyway,
Yup.
so we're talking about them because they had 5,000 members in 2012, and then by 2023 they had quadrupled that number in Manhattan alone. So they went from having 5,000 nationwide to 20,000 in. Oh, all right. Well, that's not really an argument, my dude.
Either he's laughing with us or at us. I'm gonna
I
assume at us, but
Yeah,
I would
I
love if he
think
was laughing with us.
yeah. Well, that's not really an argument. Just saying, oh, they can't be taken seriously. What have we said here that has not been from the BHI official website or IUIC official website? Right? Like, what claim have we made that cannot be taken seriously? Right? Because this is the BHI tactic. It's just to make fun of you and try to like get people on their side by insulting you. And then if that doesn't work, they just start screaming at you. Right? Because you can't point a claim that we've made because we haven't made any claims yet.
No, we just presented theirs by we.
Right.
I mean, I kind of showed up recently, so Kale's presenting stuff, and I've been like dying in pain listening to these arguments.
Yeah. No, I have not even begun to examine any sort of claims.
Sorry, I did. I'll clarify. I did. I said Jeremiah wasn't a good passage, even though it's contextually correct to not use that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so there you go. That's the one claim. If you want to dispute that claim, be our guest. If not, don't waste our time by insulting us, dude.
Fight. You're white. Prove it.
So here's the joke. Here's your head.
Well,
Whoosh. My guy.
well, I can tell you this.
It was
If I can tell you this. If you
that
put me next to a
sarcasm
black
went
man,
right over his head. It went right over his head.
no, that is also sarcasm.
All right, dude. Come on. You got to be messing with me. There's no way, dude. There's no way. Oh my goodness.
Oh, hey, there's the other link.
Yeah, I just pulled that up. We were pretty much done with the Maccabees things. Wait, yeah, I know. So do you want me to like pull up my ancestry and show you, hey, this is where my family crossed the Atlantic?
If you're confused about what color I am, I can go find a black man I'm stand next to me and tell me which one's lighter than the other.
I was gonna say, dude, it will then hurt to look at you. Like the way the camera adjusts, it will
Hey,
physically
hey,
hurt to
hey,
look
hey,
at
hey,
you.
hey, 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 hey. We already know that's the truth. We don't need to keep saying it. I already said that this chat just got a whole lot gayer with my presence, even though I'm not at all gay.
Hey, man, your words, not mine. Anyways,
No,
so
they are your words. You've said it to me multiple
that
times.
comedy aside, because my guy, it was so clearly sarcasm. Um, right on the on the basis of the fact that we're talking about Black Hebrew Israelites. I am not black, therefore I call myself a white Hebrew Israelite as a joke. See, it's being facetious. That is that a reference to that Stevie Wonder joke?
As a Stevie Wonder joke.
Oh, you know that one.
Oh, I showed you that one back in high
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
I may be blind.
I love that one.
A terrible
Oh my
meme.
goodness. Anyways, sorry, we got a little derailed there. Point being, so
It was worth the derailing.
Christian holidays, all pagan. The Maccabean revolt was a significant point in time. It was the official emergence of the Black Hebrew Israelites. It is kind of like this cultural defining moment for them. They also apparently don't understand basic grammar rules, as I scroll on their page, and one of their first and foremost article is, quote, "Is Jesus Christ and God the same?" unquote. Now that's not the grammar that I would use. I would use the word are, right? Because you're talking about two different persons there. Are Jesus Christ and God the same? But that's really just kind of nitpicking. Uh, so, but yeah, you can go and you can kind of look at their websites. That'll be in the description if you really want to learn more about that stuff. But your boy has to work early in the morning, so dude, that's what your website is calling it. Like, that, I'm sorry, that's what
Um,
y'all call yourselves. I don't
you're
really have a
black.
problem with it, but I
You're
mean, you
black,
guys
dude.
say we are Hebrew, right? You're just saying, okay, we are Israelites, right? We are Israelites. We are Israelites. You're
You
known
aren't
as
black.
Black Hebrew Israelites,
You're black. That's you, dude. That's your profile picture
right? Like here, I will
by
just straight up
definition.
look up.
Oh, we're not gonna laugh at what I said.
What?
You didn't hear what I said.
No, I did not.
Look at his first statement. We aren't black. I know he's trying to say that we're Israelites, but here's his profile picture. You're black, dude. I
So,
mean,
well, if
technically.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Josh, go ahead. That's definitely you.
Okay, sorry. So I didn't catch it.
Oh,
I was
hang
just
on,
looking at the comment
hang
below.
on. He
I
answered
was
his
looking at
own
what he said. I'm
question.
brown. I said, I mean, technically, there's not many people who are like truly black. A lot of people are just brown because
Yeah,
there's not really anyone who's like truly white or black. And if they are truly white, I'm scared for them because they might be dying.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
I
need to.
know. Right. So the term Black Hebrew Israelite, my guy, is literally just an identifier. It's not us literally saying, "Hey, these people are literally black." Right? Like you look up Black Hebrew Israelites, this is what comes up. Right? It's just all Black Hebrew Israelites. Right? Like there you have the IUIC, right? More IUIC. You know, like if I look up Hebrew Israelites, you guys are not what come up. So I'm sorry, but that's just how we're gonna refer to it as.
Israelites are just black. The people of Israel are not real Israelites.
And the evidence for this claim would be, bro, you got to
I
show me
got
the tree.
blurry.
Wait, hang on. BHIs who are now in the chat, I want to know, how do I get my hands on the tree? You know the tree I'm talking about too. That lineage tree.
Color, clothes, tire, lock.
Very true. Just use Israelites. Okay, but that's not common parlance.
Dude,
That's not
even
common parlance.
BHIs comes off BHIs.
Right, yeah. I can refer to you guys as the purple and gold if you're IUIC. Would you prefer that?
You are the Vikings.
Right? Like if I just say Israelites, people aren't going to think BHI. You guys aren't that big yet. I'm sorry, you're just not. So if I say we're going to talk about Israelites today, people are going to think, "Oh, okay, we're going to talk about the Jews," which I don't think is the group that you want to talk about. Right? I mean, case in point, you're the other person here said that Israelites are just black, the people of Israel are not real Israelites. Okay, but that's what people think of. So we have to refer to you as something different so people know what we're talking about.
Just a quick little funny aside. If we say
What's up?
purple and gold, those are the same colors as the Minnesota Vikings. Both of them have a losing record right now.
You're saying BHI or IUIC, excuse me, I should say, for the purple and gold.
They got losing record.
It's also the colors of my college. So
I don't know how they're doing right now, though. I
I
don't think
have
they're really
no idea.
televised.
Yeah,
Anything like that. Because they're what, D2? D3?
D3. Oh, we are D3, concretely
I can't
so.
remember if they're D3 or
Yeah.
D2.
Anyways, so all of that
All right, show this,
aside,
but amen, amen, amen.
right? So talked about vegetarianism, talked about the holidays, talked about the Maccabean Revolt. Oh yes, Sunday, 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 Sunday.
Sunday.
So BHI beliefs state that Sunday is in fact a pagan holiday because it is not actually the day that Christ rose. Because they do some math and state that, in fact, Jesus could not have risen on a Sunday, given. Oh, where is it? Where's the verse? Where's the verse?
Pause for clarification.
What's up?
Are they referring to the day itself or the fact that Christians get together? Because Sunday ain't a holiday.
To team up with them. To team up with whom?
Yeah, I need some more specifications.
With whom?
Clarity. Wanda.
Any hoozle. So, let's actually tell you what. Let's just pull up the actual article for on IUIC's website about why Sunday is pagan. At least the worship on Sunday is pagan.
Okay, that brings clarity to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. From the time of ancient Egypt and even ancient Babylon, the sun was the main false god, Ra, the sun god. Idol worshippers chose a day to honor their false god and called it Sunday. Evidence? Sunday is not that Sabbath, is what we say. Right, yes. Yep, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, my guy. Just hang on a second.
Let me cook.
Yeah. We're getting there. Did you say let you cook? All right, I will unleash you in a second. Hang on.
Oh, I want to have to cook. I'll put some little spice in there, and then you can like stir the pot.
Okay. Anyway, so after the death and resurrection of Christ, the enemies of our Lord were successful in infiltrating the true church as the scriptures would. Also true.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly what they're saying, but
yeah, let's do this. Let's finish the article, and then we can look at some of the comments. So if you guys have comments you want us to respond to, leave them down below. We'll look at them when we're done with this article. That way we can just kind of keep a good stream flow of topic.
Yeah. So they say this is a verse they like to kind of toss out, which is, "And many false prophets shall arrive and deceive many." They just kind of like toss that out as if that's an actual argument, when I'm going to point out that can just as easily refer to them.
Yeah,
and
Momo.
I would argue would. So that doesn't really do anything. And then it says for Acts 20:29. So that's just kind of like a, hey, by the way, here's some passages about false prophets. Cool, that doesn't make an argument.
Yeah.
After Paul and the other disciples died, many false teachers entered the church, bringing lies and heresies. In this time, these heretics taught that the Sabbath, which God has given a memorial of His creation, was done away by Christ, and Sunday was exalted as the Lord's Day. This made it much easier for idol worshippers to come into the church and increase the financial income of the church if the Christians met on the same day that the pagan world did. So there it is. Right. Sunday worship is pagan. At least treating Sunday as the Sabbath is pagan because that's when the pagans worshipped. Now, we're going to do something that I did with Richard Carrier here, which is correlation is not causation.
Yeah.
Right? Hitler drank water is a great example. Right? Just because I also drink water does not make me Hitler. Just because pagans worshipped on a Sunday does not mean that Sunday is suddenly surrendered to the pagans. I think statues of the white European they claim is Jesus should come down. They're a form of white supremacy, always have been.
Bruh, bet. Check your history.
Okay.
Because we have Ethiopians who had access to Christianity before the whites did.
I don't think that's what they're saying. I think the person is saying that the statues are co-opted, right? Because they believe Jesus is black.
See, I was
So
emphasizing the fact that they said they are a form of white supremacy, always have been. And
I think they're saying the European-looking statues are a form of white supremacy.
ah, I mean,
Yeah,
that would make sense too.
yeah,
But here's the thing, just a quick aside. Almost every culture kind of
yeah.
appropriates Jesus
I
into
was
their
just
own
gonna
thing.
bring that up. Yep. So
Um,
by this logic, there is also Asian supremacy because if you go into if you go into South Korea, for example, which is an Asian Christian country, you will see depictions of Jesus being Asian. If you go to Africa, then you will see Jesus as black. If you go to Middle East, you'll see him as Middle Eastern. If you go to South America, yeah, I knew that was coming, my guy. I could feel that. I could feel the disturbance in the force when I said that.
here's the thing,
If you
Jesus
go to
did
South
have,
America, Jesus will be Hispanic. It's just dependent on the culture that you're in.
yeah, and Jesus did have a ethnic, like he did have a certain
Also,
number of
sorry,
melanin.
evidence.
He would have been
Evidence
Asian or
outside of
Middle Eastern.
BHI theology.
But the reason they kind of do the whole like appropriating Jesus in their whole culture is they're identifying Jesus with their culture of like he's a savior across all things. So they're not really actually worried about his actual skin color. People actually know that Jesus was Middle Eastern. Um, but it's the idea of that he came and saved them as like an identification. He came not just to save like all the culture that bleeds into all the Gentiles and all the Jewish nations. That's kind of why that stuff happens, which I think is kind of cool. Um,
Yeah.
Great argument. Love it. Love it. He was Middle Eastern Israeli.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's keep plugging along here, my dudes,
Yeah.
because I have to be again at work early in the morning. So, where are we?
Um,
Oh yeah. So then they go through. They provide several passages. So I'll just read the blurb here. This made it much easier. I said that there are only eight passages, eight scriptures, excuse me, in the New Testament that mention the first day of the week, and then they go through and mention all of those. And they say, notice how the first five scriptures simply state that the Israelite woman came to the sepulchre early in the morning, and that Christ had already risen from the dead. Pagan church leaders teach that the followers of Christ gathered on the first day of the week because of some new law, but John 20:19 says the Lord appeared to the disciples later in the day, and the reason that they assembled on the first day of the week was, quote, for fear of the Jews, unquote. The seventh verse was Acts 20, verse 7 and 8. Shows us that the disciples gathered to hear Paul preach because he was going to depart on the morrow, so-called Monday. This is a farewell get-together. The eighth and last verse is 1 Corinthians 16, 1 and 2, which was about the believers coming together for the purpose of gathering money. Paul wanted this money already prepared when he got there to take the poor Israelites in Jerusalem. There is no mention of those verses that teach us about a change of the Lord's Sabbath to Sunday. So, here we go. Here we go.
brother, where does it say he's black in that? Especially when the first three chapters are letters to other churches.
No, so hang on. So this is the passage. Yes, Jesus is Lord. You're on the right track here. This is the argument they make. So they will say since his hair was white, that means he's black. Pause. No. Right? That does not inherently make somebody black. My
I'll show you
grandmother,
a
just
picture of my
before she died,
grandfather.
had very white hair. I can assure you, as a born and raised, Bronx Jew, she was not black.
Come to
Not
my
even
church.
close.
Come to my
She
grandparents.
was
You'll see a
very
lot of
white.
white people with white hair.
Yes. Right. And so they'll say, well, he's not old though, right? But his hair is white. Okay. And there are people who whose hair prematurely ages, and it's white by like the time they're 25. Secondly, It's to reflect his glorified and purified state. It's not an indication of his race.
Thirdly,
Thirdly,
is
black people
prophetic.
don't have white hair even when they're younger.
Fourthly, is prophetic literature. It's
Hmm.
describing things in a prophetic way with visions to and describe events that are happening and what these things mean. Like in Daniel chapter 7, Yahweh, the Father, is described as having this long white hair and fire because white resembles purity and wisdom, and because Daniel's in the Babylonian context.
Yeah.
Like there is more to color than just merely what things look like. They actually have a purpose behind them in the ancient Near Eastern and Greco-Roman context. White
Right.
had a resemblance of wisdom, purple is royalty, etc., etc.
Yeah. So regarding the Sabbath here, um, I will say that this little blurb right here is a wonderful example of special pleading. Right. What special pleading is, if you don't know, is saying this specific circumstance, uh, this specific circumstance is a reflection of, or is not a reflection, is an example of a special case, and that cannot count for the example. Right. That's what special pleading is. I used that as an example. I used, or sorry, somebody else committed special pleading when I was talking to them about soteriological baptism. Right. I said that Acts 10 is an example that water baptism is not soteriological, and they see there it is. His head and his hairs were white like wool, his white as white as snow. His eyes were flame. His feet like unto fine brass that they'd just been burned in a furnace. Yes, when you burn brass, it turns golden. It turns a very bright, shiny golden. Not a deep brown. Like I will look up a picture of burned brass right now.
Brother. All right, I'm gonna go through some of the other ones, see if I missed anything. Because
Like for
chaos and
example,
Jesus is Lord
for
3324
hang on,
are cooking.
hang on.
I'm just saying we got some people cooking in the chat.
Do you think that's what? Does your skin look like that, my guy?
Hey, that's
Right, like
clearly
let's
black.
pick a darker one, right? That's as dark as burnt brass gets. That is still not even close to what most black people look like. Like I'm showing you all of the burned brass. This one is literally black, which you already described. You're not that, right? You're brown. This is what burned brass looks like. It's not even close, dude. It's not even close. I literally showed you what burned brass looks like. It's not even close to black, Hispanic, or Indian skin colors, skin tones. It's not even close. It's golden. Yeah, that's not an argument, dude. You want to take this literally. You want to take uh, the burned brass literally. Okay, then. Yes, we did. I will pull it back up, dude. It's not even close.
I've seen a lot of brown in there, my boy. He says.
Okay, does it look like your skin tone? If it does, go see a doctor, dude. See the picture? It was black. Are you talking about the one that was literally ashen black? Because if that's what you think skin color looks like, right? Like this is as dark as it gets. If you think this is what skin color looks like, we have a problem.
Oh, little side question. Why is there a drum behind me?
You think that's what skin color
I'll
looks
come
like?
back to
You
that
think
question.
that's what Jesus' skin color looks like? That. That's the picture of black. That's what you think it looks like.
Excessive burn. I feel like you're adding words to the text. It literally says it has to be excessive.
Looks are like skin tone. Don't fight it, my boy. No,
Uh,
I am going to fight it because that's a
wait,
stupid
wait, wait,
claim.
wait, wait, wait. It's our, not R. O-U-R, not A-R-E.
Yeah, true. Again, we're going back to that whole grammar thing. But it's called melody. There it is. You would not understand. We got it, baby. Cain don't know Bible. Oh my goodness, dude.
Yay!
Oh my goodness. I
Don't worry,
man.
Chaos. I'll answer your question eventually.
Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
He was asking about the drum. We'll save it for
Oh, that's
later.
significantly less important. All right.
I know. Ask me at 9:30 when Caleb's getting ready to hop off.
Yeah, really. But like, look at these. This is again. I will grant you this is like the closest one you can get. If your skin looks like that, go see a doctor.
Yeah. Yee, yee, yee.
Golly.
So
Um.
Sabbath.
So Sabbath, yes. Firstly, they conveniently leave out the part where it's sorry, I'm actually just pulling up Revelation 1 real quick. So you say verses 14 and 15 are literal. I would just like to put forward verse 16. In his right hand he held 7 stars, and coming out of his mouth was a sharp double-edged sword. His face was like the sun shining in all its brilliance. How would you know who the Israelites are in today's time? I would simply look at historical records. I don't know who this is addressed to, but none of us are religiously Jewish to my knowledge.
You are by blood.
Yes, by ethnicity, I am a blood Jew, but I'm about as Jewish, truthfully, as a ham sandwich. I have no real tie to
And then we have
anything
Jesus as Lord in the chat
Jewish.
cooking. Let him cook.
Yes.
Get stir the pot. Synagogue of
There it
Satan.
is.
Thanks for the insult. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Still not in any way Jewish, really. Again, I am a quarter Jewish by blood. I have no connection to Judaism or any sort of Jewish adherence whatsoever.
You was crazy, Caleb.
What's that, Joshua?
Earlier in the stream, you said that they tend to turn to insults when they can't really handle anything. What did we
Yeah.
just witness here?
Yeah.
Wow,
No,
it's
I know.
almost like this is the exact situation.
I mean,
Wackadoodle.
I appreciate that they did at least try to have like a little bit of a dialogue.
And then they
That
called
I
us
do
a blood.
appreciate, and I would love to continue that dialogue. But if you're just gonna hurl insults at us, then I don't know what to tell you, dude. I got better things to do with my time.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Sabbath. Are you allowed to work on the Sabbath? The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Right. So to suggest first, oh wait, I was talking about special pleading here. Yeah,
There you were.
this is just special pleading. You can distinguish who the Israelites are in the Bible. Yeah, pretty easily, my guy. Again, historical records. You just go back and you look. Like, I guess I'm a little confused. Are you trying to say like, since we can't distinguish, therefore they are black, or are you trying to say that we have no method of telling because, I mean, we have pretty concrete lineages. Right, like, I will tell you that by the time we get to Islam, the Jewish population is pretty pretty firm. Book, chapter, verse. Firstly, that's a little rich coming from you. But secondly, all right, book, chapter, verse regarding them not being black? Question mark.
I think they really cared about that.
Yeah, they really didn't care, but
They were fairly multi-ethnic too, because they integrated with like Egyptians and Canaanites and
amen.
Akkadians, and then they got
But like,
married.
okay, so I actually, you know what? Hang on a second. Ugh.
Let him cook. I need to make you a chef's hat.
Nah, I won't copy Avery that hard.
No, yours will be white.
Oh, I just need the passage. I just need the passage.
See, I would help you, but I don't know what you're doing right now.
Zipporah is what I'm looking for.
Oh,
Do you immediately know what I'm doing?
I think so. I'm just need to pull it up myself.
Oh, we're getting there, Jay. Don't worry. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, Numbers 12:1. Let's go there. Do 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 do. Go ahead and read that for me, Josh.
Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite.
Judah, Benjamin, Levi, those are the Jews. Not true, actually. The Levites were a northern tribe and therefore would have been Samaritans, my friend. But that's a good
Yeah.
try. Only Judah and Benjamin were the southern tribes.
It
Now,
was
I,
10 and
I
2.
understand you're going to turn here to the Maccabean revolt to suggest that no, actually, the northern kingdom, or the Levites were reestablished into the southern kingdom. However, that is purely conjecture on the part of BHI. Now, the passage that we just read, Miriam and Aaron began to talk about Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. Prove all things. In the process of it, my guy. Also, did you want me to prove that Levi was the northern kingdom? Is that what you're looking for? Because we can go to that passage in Kings. I just want to make sure I'm on the right track for you there. But right there, so Cushite, what does that mean? What does that term mean? And why is that so controversial?
Let's see if they answer.
All right, what does it mean to be a Cushite?
I'm noticing a silencing of their part.
Well, hang on. Give them time. I have 1 Kings 16 or 12, 16 through 24 pulled up for in case he's actually asking if only Judah and Benjamin are the southern tribes. While he does that, Sabbath, Shabbat, if you will.
There you go.
Shave it
We'll
if you
eventually
must.
finish this topic.
Um, yeah, really. Well, I mean, there's not really too much more to say. Um, the Bible doesn't clarify specifically uh, that it cannot be on a Sunday, nor is there any actual causal link between Sunday being a pagan worship day and therefore Christians adopted it. There's no evidence for that. Right? If you're going to lay that claim out, you've got to provide the proof for it, and they just don't. They just assert it. Um, Regarding all of their passages saying, "Oh, on the first day of the week," but he had already risen. Right. He had already risen that morning, the morning of the first day of the week, which is Sunday. Now, some BHI have stated in the past that Matthew 12, talking about the 3 days, 3 nights, means that he could not have risen on Sunday. We have addressed that claim in the past many times. I addressed it specifically in the video regarding, I wouldn't say problematic, but regarding polemical passages. So if you're curious, go check that out. I don't feel the need to rehash it right now and go through the whole thing again. It's already 26 minutes past when I was thinking about wrapping up the stream. So we're just going to keep moving pretty quickly here. So actually, this is the last point I really wanted to make, which is a lot of BHI will claim that anytime you see somebody being saved in the New Testament, it is a Jew. And it is... Hey, I appreciate it, though. Jesus is Lord. You know, you really came out
Chef.
Chef swinging there. Yeah. But appreciate the hard work there. Any hoozle. So I lost my train of... Oh, yes. They will state that the gospel did not come for the Gentiles. And to this point, they will quote John 7:35. So John 7:35. Make sure I put up the right one. All right. The Jews said to one another, "Where does this man intend to go that we will not find him? Does he intend to go to dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks?" So they will use this to say, well, see, it's the dispersion among the Greeks. Therefore, the Greeks being talked about in the New Testament are actually the Jews in the dispersion, or the Israelites in the dispersion. What? Oh, he's not talking to us. He's not talking to us. He's talking to Jesus as Lord, which also
No,
means...
but that still doesn't logically make sense.
No, I know. I mean, you can take a moment if you want for that.
No, I'm gonna stay on track because you were supposed to go to bed a while ago.
Yeah. So they'll say, okay, yep, that means that the Israelites in the dispersion are the ones being saved. There's no non-Israelite that can be saved. Now, firstly, I could almost see it. The problem is, he also says, and teach the Greeks. The word there in Greek is Helene. Helene. I went and searched every single usage of the word Helene in the Greek New Testament. Not once does it refer to any group relating to the Israelites. And it is very commonly used to refer to Gentile groups who are distinctly not Jewish. Case in point, we are going to go to Acts 21, verse 28. Well, I'll just pull up the entirety of Acts 1 so you know I'm not just ripping this out of context. And then, Josh, if you want to read here.
When the 7 days were almost completed, the Jews from Asia, seeing him at the temple, stirred up the whole crowd and laid hands on him, crying out, "Men of Israel, help! This is the man who is teaching everyone everywhere against the people and the law in this place. Moreover, he even brought Greeks into the temple and has defiled this holy place."
Isn't that interesting?
Interesting, interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Intriguing.
Now, if Helene, right, it's the same word used there, same root word, Helene, Helenos, right? If that were what's being referred to as the Jews, as the Israelites, why would it be a defilement to bring them into the temple? Because it's not about the Israelites. It is talking about Gentiles, foreigners, non Israelites. The Jews considered that to be extremely taboo to bring non Jews into the temple for worship. Right? I mean, you got to recall that these were people who didn't even want to talk to the half breeds that they were related to in the Samaritans. They certainly did not want any Gentiles in their places of worship. They saw it as a defilement. And so, when you read this sentence, using the same word as in John 7:35, it should then click in your head. Right now, we're on Acts 21, verses 27 and 28. We were talking about the proof text that BHI often uses, which is John 7:35, to say that the Greeks refers to the Jews, but that doesn't make sense in light of Acts 21:28 and all the other uses of the Greek word Helene. We also can then go to Romans 1:14 as another proof text, but we'll wait to get there because I would like Jays to catch up, actually. I don't want to move on without him yet. So, shut up. Sorry, I was really aggressive. So yeah, that's basically. Sorry, that completely derailed my train of thought. Why are you stuttering? Right. So it's a defiling because it can't be talking about Israelites, right? The same word that's used here is the one used in John 7:35. It can't be talking about teaching Israelites because it wouldn't be a defilement to bring Israelites into the temple. Right. And so we could go to passages like Galatians 3 or Colossians 3 and just quickly be like, all right, well, there you go, boom. Right? Obviously, there is neither Jew nor Greek. Okay, if that's the same person, why is there a distinction made there? Right? Same people group. Why is there a distinction made there?
Never the fact that Jesus also engaged with the Gentile people.
Right. Yeah. No. John 11. Right? Is it John 11?
Well, because it's the centurion. There's
No,
the
it's John
Canaanite.
12.
There's also
See, there it is. Okay, so Greeks refers to the southern kingdom. My guy, the southern kingdom is Judah and Benjamin. That is the Israelites, like pure blood Israelites. I think you meant that Greeks refers to the northern kingdom, which we just talked about, how that cannot be the case. We just talked about with this verse how that cannot be the case. Because if it's just talking about the northern kingdom there, it is not a defilement to bring them into the temple. We just talked about that and how it's the same word. used in John 7:35, which is your proof text, the same
Wow.
word is used here, Heleni, right? It's the same root word, Helenos.
Wild and crazy stuff.
Right, and now they've been made true Jews, which is kind of the point that Jesus is Lord has been making. But let's go to one more passage here. Romans 1.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read this last paragraph here, and then we're probably going to be done after that.
Yeah, it'd be wise.
First, I thank my God through Christ Jesus for all of you, because your faith is proclaimed in all the world. For God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son. Without ceasing, I mention you. Always in my prayers, asking that somehow, by God's will, I may now at last succeed in coming to you. For I long to see you, that I may impart to you some spiritual gifts to strengthen you. That is, we may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith, both yours and mine. I do not want you to be unaware, brothers, that I have often intended to come to you, but thus far have been prevented, in order that I may reap some harvest among you, as well as among the rest of the Gentiles. I am under obligation both to Greeks and to barbarians, both to the wise and to the foolish. So I am eager to preach the gospel to you who are also in Rome. For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith.
Interesting distinctions there.
Interesting distinctions there. Why are, if truly the Greeks are just in the northern kingdom, why are they referred to as barbarians? Are equated with barbarians, I should say, which are foreigners and heathens. That is not how the Samaritans were viewed. Yes, they were hated, but they were not on the same level as Gentiles. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there, Josh, but there was a very clear distinction between the two.
Yes, there was.
Thank you. Earn that paycheck, Tyrone.
I got you.
I'll talk about the Lost Tribes. Already debunked it, dude. Already debunked it with Acts 21:28. Account for that. Account for the defiling. Also, dude, I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to take what you say seriously when you didn't know that the southern kingdom was the was the Israelites versus the Samaritans, which is the northern kingdom. That's a big problem. So,
sorry, on my soundboard has not been updated yet because I haven't bothered updating it, so I have to get my own soundboard.
I literally did. Oh my goodness, dude, that's the text that we've been using.
We read it. I read it, actually. I was the one who read it.
Proud of you, buddy.
Thank you. Took a
Right,
lot of
so
effort out of me to do it.
I actually will pull up the Greek for you. All right.
Ooh. Time for Caleb to cook. Chef Elliot.
Chryzontes, Andres, Ire Leighton, Letai, Boe, Boethete, Otus, Estin, Ho, Anthropos, Ho Kata, Tu, Lamu, Kai, Tu, Nomu, Kai, Tu, Topu, Tutu, Pantas, Panta. Oh my goodness. I'm dying. Pantaka, Ditakon, Hiti, Te, Kai, Helenas, Aisegegen, Ais to Iron, Kai, Kekoinenon, Kekoinekon, Ton, Agion, Topon, Tuton. That word right there. What does that mean? Do not say it refers to the lost kingdom. You need to provide a proof text for that, because no other usage of the lexical form of the excuse me, of the root with the same lexical form being Helenos, no other form, no other word uses that. I mean, it's hard to even really call them ancestors at that point because of how much watering down has happened, but it's possible. I mean, I don't know necessarily if it's a straight shot right back, but maybe. I, I didn't trace my lineage back that far. I took a DNA test. Hey, amen. It's good hanging out with you, Jesus Lord. Appreciate you coming.
Yeah, man.
And I'm glad
Come
that God
again.
delivered you from that. That's awesome.
Always come again. We would love to
Praise
hang out
God.
some more.
Yeah, please do come back. We enjoyed talking with you.
I think you're
Um,
responding to this, but brother, all the Israelites stem from this.
yeah.
What's the
But
point
so
in that
anyway,
comment?
hang on. I am not done here yet. This word, find me an instance in Scripture in which it refers to the northern kingdom. Do not go to John 7:35. I will reach through the screen and slap you. All right. All right, Caleb, calm down. Calm down.
Only if you come on with us.
I think I'm sick that week. Yeah, not feeling too well that week actually.
I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna like pick a stream topic that you think is normally your prep for. I'm gonna pull out. All right, we're doing, and you're like, oh, I'm sick. Bye.
Yeah. All right. It is 9:42. I expect at some point an answer to this question.
Um,
Um,
here.
Unfortunately, my friend, you chose to pick an argument with somebody who reads Greek. So, and taught a class on it, which is on this channel. Go check that one out too.
Going way back when. I'll do a quick speed run answer. Because your boy here is not only the founder of Call to Defend and a nerd who reads way too many books in theology and comics and everything else, and has needs more and teaches. He also is a performing musician who is primarily a percussionist and drum set player. So I'm a classically trained and marching trained and drum set trained and
We
hand
get it.
percussion
You're a
trained.
nerd.
I am. So I don't just teach it; I play it. I have 4 drum kits. Um, this is one of my new snares. It needs new heads. I'm gonna be using it for a gig I have coming up in a few months. As one of my side snares, and so I wanted to get something that was maple but had a deeper shell to get a deeper tone. I need to probably sell one of my kits, just because I don't use it enough anymore, and my reason for going to use it, w- um,
Hey,
unfortunately,
appreciate that. Jesus is Lord. Really appreciate that. And don't let him be alone in that. Support him. Help him. Subscribe with him. Don't let him be alone. Hey, but
but
really appreciate that. I hope you have a great one and God bless. Lord willing, we will see you in the future, my dude.
but my justification for keeping the other one, I don't use enough because the space I have is too small. So either I need to move it, start using it again, or I need to sell it. That hurts me. That was my first drum kit. I love that kit, even though I don't really play it on as much anymore. It's not as versatile as my other 3 kits. But yes, I have a collection of classical instruments and drums instruments. Maybe on one of our chill stays, you guys can ask me for the things I have, and I can show you my cymbals and my drums and my books and
Yes,
games.
but
And
today is not that day. Today
no,
is time for me to sleep.
I'm I got slapped with the face of tired with the sleepies. Slapped in the face with the sleepies.
So we would like to thank you all very much for watching. We hope this was informative.
Hold up.
Boy. That doesn't actually answer the question, dude. Right, let's say Trophimus and Ephesian is a Greek. Okay, how does that in any way answer Helenos? Your mission was to show that the word for Greek there, in any context, meant the Northern Kingdom, and then explain how a member of the Northern Kingdom coming to the temple defiled the temple. That was the mission. And you failed. So,
Yo, theological subject. We'll do it if you hop on with us.
on that lovely note,
I haven't heard about this. I just looked
folks,
up now. It's interesting.
okay. I want to go to bed, dude.
There you go.
On that note, guys, thank you all so very much for watching. Um, Make sure to camp out on that subscribe button and, inform us of your knowledge of Cain, how Cain knows his Bible down in the comments below. We really do hope you enjoyed this stream, and Lord willing, Josh, unless you have anything else to say, we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Sleepy.